Alrighty, so this is Diesel We the People News. Okie. This video is without prejudice, and I'm going to stand on without prejudice and or without recourse. I'm going to stand on the UCC 1-308, all rights reserved. Okie. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to give legal advice, y'all. You already know this by now. Okay. However, I must say these things because I do voice my opinion. Okay. And we're going to take it as a learning video also. Okay. So broaden your minds. Why? Why do we need to broaden our minds? Because we never look straight forward. We always look around us, be able to protect ourselves by any means necessary. All right. So there's been a few videos here, but I keep on bypassing the one simple thing: the due process. Okay. So that officer right there, right, is the executive branch. Okay. He must, if there's a warrant, then he can come and arrest you. And if he sees a crime in action, he can arrest you then. All right. But technically, these codes and statutes are not crimes, so you actually have to fight this because a crime must have a victim, and that officer cannot be the complainant. Okay, and that's what he's doing. He's making a claim you broke some type of law. All right, and that's also what he does. He is interpreting the law that you've broken. Okay, we've seen this over and over and over again on cop watches, right? Well, you've broken the law. You've broken the law. He is making a legal determination. This is the reason why, and this is most important, because attorneys don't tell you these things, y'all, and judges don't tell you, right? This is the reason why I say that you need to say, I need to go see the magistrate right away. Why? Because that is a due process. If that officer arrests you and take you directly to jail and book you, he just violated your right to due process. All right? Just argument's sake, when we go back in with that a while back on the videos, you have 4 people in there. One person owns that cocaine. He don't know which one it is. Does that mean he gets to arrest innocent people? Well, according to him, it does. He just made a legal determination that everybody's guilty. All right? And he can't make a legal determination. You also challenge that officer, right? On record, if you record them, right? Are you saying you have jurisdiction? And he's probably going to say yes. So he just made a claim he had jurisdiction. But how did he actually, since he's not an attorney, make that legal determination? Right? He's not allowed to give legal advice. And this is where we stand, y'all. These officers keep violating our rights because of the ignorance of it. And bypassing our due process. Now you got to get a bond to get out of jail. We never had a due process. So you call that judge, you tell that officer, well, no, you wake up that judge at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to do this correctly. We're going to do this by the book. Well, no, I don't have to wake up a judge. Oh, really? Justice denied is, I'm doing that backwards. Justice delayed is justice denied, and you deny me my due process at this moment time. You are on notice. Anything you say or do, let's see. I'm blanking out. You tell the officer, at this point in time, I'm putting you on notice of trespass, a violation of my due process, all right? From this day forward, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be held against you in a court of law. Do you understand, Officer Dwayne? Do the exact same thing. Because now he's denied you due process. So now you want to hold him accountable. And you may have to say it 3 times. 3 magical words, 3 times. Now, I don't know what it is about this crap, 3. But you must say it 3 times. You got to give them a notice. Notice trespass upon your property. Remember one thing, y'all. You got life, liberty, and property. And you cannot convert rights into a privilege. Sorry, y'all. Okay?
You told me first.
So, what he is doing, in fact, is changing everything into a privilege. Okay? But you have a right to see that magistrate because now he just violated your liberty. He trespassed. He trespassed upon your liberty. And he also trespassed upon your property, your body. Alright? Where you reside. In my body. Okay? The house is just a shelter to take care of your body. But wherever I go, I reside in my body. I never leave it. Until the day I die. Alright? I'm stuck with this body until then. Okay, so I reside in this body. They don't like it. But, and they can't argue it either. Right? Let's go ahead and proceed forward on this a little bit. But remember, anything that starts off of an officer, he's making legal determination, which he cannot do. He's stepping outside of his authority because he's executive branch. Look up what executive is of an officer. And I guess I need to go ahead and pass forward this a little bit.
You cannot arrest her for open container. And then now you told me...
No, I told you...
Stop dragging your feet on financial decisions with side-by-side product comparisons at NerdWallet.
Huh, imagine that. Always never fails, right?
You're not getting stopped up. You're not getting
I do.
Okay, so we're going to go into this. She's not arrested for the open container. She can be arrested for not identifying herself. However, she has to be lawfully arrested. Alright? Now the problem is, what crime did she commit? Okay, so this officer, no matter what he's saying or doing right now, is violating the due process. Okay, anytime you're under arrest and you don't get to go see the magistrate, is a violation of due process because now he arrested a lady for an open container, which is not unlawful but illegal. But as long as the lady stands as a woman and not a person or a passenger and makes these claims that this law does not apply to I, there's nothing really they can do. They will do it, but there's nothing they really can do if you fight it correctly and true and correct. But you gotta have to know what you're doing. Absolutely know what you're doing because the attorney will not do this for you whatsoever.
You said you cannot get arrested for open container just for that, right? You told me that.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Let me try. When I say arrest, custodial arrest. She cannot get in that car. No, that's 2 types of arrest. Okay, that's 2 types of arrest. Okay, when I detain you, you are being arrested. You're not free to go.
Right.
Once I say you're under arrest, put your hands on your back. Now, and I put those handcuffs on you, it's custodial arrest.
Okay.
Now, you've been custodial arrest. Now I got to do the procedure, paperwork, the whole 9 yards. See, that's what you get. Every time a police officer stops a car, they individuals in that vehicle are arrested, meaning they cannot go anywhere.
Okay.
Until the officer says, are you free to go, write a ticket, and so forth.
Okay.
All right. Get you out the car, do a post investigation, and some criminal offense is still afoot. Now I'll make the arrest. Now it's custodial arrest.
Okay.
That's always, there's 2 types of arrest.
Right.
Look it up, 2 types of arrest.
All right. So, I mean, just to wrap it up, I don't want to take much.
So again, we're going to spot right here. Okay. But this officer never told that passenger, wink, 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 that she was under arrest. he probably told her that she was detained, right? But never told that lady she was arrested. All right. Now, if this officer actually tells you this right here, or any other officer says that, no, you're not detained, you're under arrest, then you'd automatically right then and there say, okay, we need to go see a magistrate. We need to handle this right here, right now. All right? Because I don't see how this is a lawful arrest. And you're going to have to actually talk to the judge. So you need to know what you need to know to be able to be set free from, and believe it or not, everybody keeps on waiting for this prosecutor to prosecute you. But the magistrate can actually keep you from being in the jail cell before you get to the jail cell. So the officer and you will actually have talk to the magistrate and get these complaints done. That is a due process, right? The judge will sit there and say, okay, nope, the officer has enough evidence, so therefore you're going to go ahead and look at the jail cell. All right? And it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's just a quick version.
For your time away.
No, I'm good.
Just to wrap it up for my audience.
Okay.
You cannot arrest her for open container, but if she doesn't identify, you will arrest her for failure to ID.
Because it was a lawful, she's been detained or arrested lawfully. The law has to be a lawful arrest, or in your case, let's make it easy, detention.
Detention.
All right?
Which is an arrest.
Yeah, exactly. So if you refuse...
We're going to go again. But since they seized the car, and the Supreme Court says everybody's detained in there, all right, and this is where I'm really mad about the Supreme Courts, right? That officer just arrested everybody in that car that's innocent. With no proper cause, no this, no that, no this, no that. No due process, nothing. Everybody in that car was arrested, and the innocent ones was arrested too. And it's exactly what this officer is saying. And that's exactly what detained is, an arrest.
At that point, to say, no, I'm not going to identify myself, then now...
You would arrest
her.
For failure to ID?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's your interpretation.
That's my... And I go by it. I mean, it's not your interpretation. That's, like I said, tomato, tomato. The way you think, that's your will. And that's my deal. I mean, that's your right to your opinion.
Right. And let me tell you something. I would love for somebody to arrest me for failure to ID. Just because I would love for somebody to arrest me.
Yeah, and that'll be right. If you break the law, all right, you're passing.
I already got arrested for that.
Well, I wasn't there, so I can't speak on it.
It got thrown out.
Okay, well, I wasn't there.
Because I wasn't lawfully arrested.
Okay, well, I wasn't there.
Okay.
So I don't know the facts and circumstances of what.
Right, I understand.
Your deal. So I can't comment on that.
Now, that being said, because they don't want a whole lot of people understanding this detained thing being an arrest, they may throw some of these cases out because of the challenge of opening case law on this. Okay? If people actually starts going in case law and saying it was unlawful arrest even when you've been detained, if you just actually say bypass detained and just put arrest on there, that you was lawfully arrested, they would probably dismiss that in a heartbeat. In fact, I wouldn't even say dismiss. I want acquittal. We need to quit saying dismiss. And if you want to dismiss, you want to dismiss with prejudice, y'all. You got to have it with prejudice, because look how many auditors was dismissed, and then a year later, they had a warrant for their arrest and went to jail. Because that dismiss means it's dismissed at that given time, but they can come back and retry you. We call it double jeopardy, but in legal terms, there's no such thing as double jeopardy. In Constitution and lawful terms, there is double jeopardy, right? You cannot do double jeopardy. So you want that dismissal with prejudice, or you ask for an acquittal. But don't just let them say, well, we're just going to go ahead and dismiss this. No. It's very important to have it with prejudice, or a year later, a retaliation, they open the case up and they go ahead and charge you again, or try to charge you again. This is what happened with CFW. This is what happened with can't even think of his name. I'm sorry, up in Dallas.
Right. But in her case, it's a good solid case.
You think so?
I know so, sir. Good solid case because she's being detained right now, and then once I found an open container, she broke the law.
Yeah.
Okay, so now she failed to identify herself,
Right.
and you read it for yourself. Any unlawful arrest, she goes to jail.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's in black and white. You know, I didn't quote it verbatim. I pulled the book out. I already carried that book with me.
Lawfully arrested, says, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She wasn't free to go. You know, she broke the law by having an open container. So I have all the elements of a crime there.
All right.
Now, she want to get an attorney, and I'm not saying that, you know, she refused. I'm just using her as an example.
Yeah.
But that's how those steps on that process. You know, you got the element of crime. She refused to identify herself. Now, then I can make the custodial arrest. Now, if I go to a passenger and I say, let me see your ID.
Okay, let's go with that argument right there, right? So not identify yourself as a crime, but who is the victim? All right? Well, the state, okay. Well, I have a right to face my accuser, which goes back in the 6th Amendment. Face my accuser. Right? So, the prosecutor is going to work for the behalf of the state. That prosecutor is not there anywhere, y'all. Do you see the prosecutor anywhere here? So that prosecutor has no first-hand knowledge of it. All right? So again, it's hearsay with the prosecutor. So therefore, they're denying due process. And they're denying you to be able to face your accuser. So then think about that. Justice delayed is justice denied, and violating your due process of facing your accuser because there is no accuser. So how can there be a crime?
And she hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an issue there.
No.
Okay, but that wasn't the case.
Okay. Hopefully, you have rank?
Yeah, I'm sergeant.
You're sergeant?
Yes.
And that's your interpretation.
That's the law. The state of Texas interpretation.
You're an attorney.
No? Are you an attorney?
Are you?
Are you? I told you no already.
I study the law very much.
I do too.
Okay.
So, but that will make us attorneys.
No, and
All right, so he plain out admitted he's not an attorney, but he just gave legal advice. And was telling that lady there. So, okay. The correct way this officer should and need to do it, right, is see that open container. Get the description and all that kind of stuff. Not even write a ticket, okay? Then he can, in fact, send it to the prosecutor. The prosecutor decides to go ahead and press forward on this arrest, okay? Because he is not allowed to give legal advice. This is the way it's actually supposed to work. All right? So the whole setup of the cops is a violation of due process and getting people to waive all their constitutional rights, state and federal. Right? Driver's license, insurance, registration is forcing you into making any type of plea is waiving your Fifth Amendment. So when you go into the magistrate and say, well, you need to make a plea whether you're guilty, no contest, or are not guilty, right? Well, you're making a claim. So this guy has made a claim. But what now, so the state don't have the burden of proof in there, they want you to make the claim. So that way, the burden of proof is on you, y'all. All right? So you waived your Fifth Amendment because, and again, I showed the video a couple of videos ago, of a man standing on his notices, right? He's not making any claims. Okay? He is standing on his Fifth Amendment. Everything he had to say was in his notice. All right? This is the biggest problem we have today. We literally, by second nature, is waiving our Fifth Amendment rights. Right from the very beginning. All right.
You said you were almost an attorney.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I'm a best thing. I'm a police officer.
Okay. Well, I play an attorney on TV.
Okay. Well, that doesn't make you an attorney. You don't have a license.
All right.
Right?
Police officer license doesn't make you an attorney.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Let's back up right quick. You don't have a license. Well, attorneys don't have a license either. The Supreme Court says that you cannot be licensed for everybody has a right to study law to protect themselves in court. It doesn't say represent yourself. It says to protect yourself in court. So therefore, attorneys cannot have licenses. All right? They claim they have a license, but it's a bar membership card. The bar has a license through the state to be a union, a corporation. And now that corporation is handing out union cards out to the attorneys. Okay? That is what they're calling a license, but it's not a license. License is state issued. They're not getting that license from the state. All right? They're getting it from the bar union, which has a license to operate the bar in the state. But not, that's the reason why you don't call the states and all that kind of stuff on attorneys. You call a complaint on the bar, because the bar is there to actually protect the attorneys and judges. Okay? So, just a little insight on that.
But I never said that. That's your words.
Right.
I told her I'm the best thing. I'm a police officer. An attorney probably say the same thing, that he's the best thing. He's an attorney.
I can say the same thing. I'm a best thing.
But you studied the law, and that's your interpretation.
Right.
I studied the law.
Okay.
Okay? So we leave it at.
All right. This is DC We the People News. Till next time. Bye, y'all.